What's up? It's your boy Tariq Ali. How you doing? I hope you're feeling good. I hope you're feeling empowered, happy, beautiful. I hope that you complimented yourself today because self-love is the best love. Today, I want to talk about breaking old habits. I want to talk about breaking old cycles, or even better, breaking generational curses. And it's like, we've all heard about generational curses before, right? Like, we're familiar with this phrase. Like, we've seen that Disney movie where someone's great grandma was like cursed with never finding true love or something like that. And so there's this long dragged out movie about a person trying to break that curse so that they can find true love and finally have a new life that the people before them were not able to have. And it's like, yes, we watch these movies and they're entertaining. Okay, I love a cute Disney movie. But we understand them as fairy tales. We understand them as, oh, this is a movie. But like, this doesn't just happen in Disney movies. Like, this happens in real life. You know, we deal with these curses every single day. And it may not be as extreme as never finding true love, but it can present itself in a lot of different ways. Generational curses are when our families or our ancestors' history or baggage impacts who we are as people. It's when we have to live with the consequences of their pain, their trauma, their actions, their beliefs, or just how they dealt with things in general. Like, we usually will deal with them the same way. And this is not limited to just black people. Like, everybody go through it, okay? Like, the example I just used with the Disney movies, trust me, I'm sure the main character was white. But I want to focus on my black people with my time with you. Can I do that? I can focus on my black people? Okay, good. I was gonna do that anyway. So that's what we're gonna do. So there's a lot of different ways that we can talk about generational curses. I like to see there's one on the large scale and then there's one on the small scale. On the small scale, that usually has to do with your family. For example, maybe the way your dad deals with anger or emotions. His father, your grandfather, every time they were upset, they got mad. Maybe they turned to substance abuse. Or maybe every time they got mad, they would lash out and hit someone or fight. And so that's what your dad did every time they got mad. And so that was the only representation you had of how to deal with your emotions. That's how they deal with their anger, so that's usually how you will end up dealing with your anger. It's just about repeated behavior, the behavior of your parents or your grandfather or your grandfather's grandfather, and how that behavior was passed down in your lineage, in your family. That's a smaller scale. On a larger scale, I see generational curses as something like we have to deal with as a community. Like, yes, it does present itself in your family, in that lineage as well, but we all do it as a community. Maybe homophobia or transphobia, or how we treat darker skinned people, colorism. And that's something that we have to tackle as a community and together. In this time with you, I want to talk about the importance of mental health. I want to talk about the importance of breathing, the importance of taking a break. Because I feel like in our community, there's this curse of like, just suck it up, be strong, and keep pushing. I'm just like, yeah, we will keep pushing and we will keep fighting, but it's important that we breathe in the process. Especially this last year, considering the pandemic, considering police brutality in America and in Nigeria and just all over the world. In terms of like what is happening to our people, to us, and the trauma that comes with it and the triggering, because this isn't the first time. And mental health is something that, you know, it's getting more traction these days, but I want to make sure that we continue making it an important conversation, and that it's an important conversation not just on YouTube or just on streaming platforms or in movies, but these are important conversations that we are having with our family, we are having with our friends, and that it's a main topic. It's not something that we're scared to talk about. It's something that, like, we ask our friends, how is your mental health? How are you doing? How are you feeling? And to practice what I preach, just how I'm about to have this conversation with you, I've had this conversation with my grandfather a couple of days ago. And I want to share just some of the things that he said. I can't share everything because he talks a lot. Okay, I love my granddad, but he talks a lot, okay? But he's a very insightful, intelligent, and loving man. And it was really refreshing. And it's something I want to encourage you all to do as well. So yes, without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get started. And yeah, let's do this.
We didn't have too much discussions about this in my household. We just learned to live with it. And it's time for that to stop. But my father always told us just be careful where you go, who you hang with. But he didn't care too much about the white man.
Now, before we get started, I just want to reiterate, like I do in all of my videos, that I do not come here to be right. I come here to start the conversation. I speak from my own perspective, from my own experience, and from my own education and research that I've done. This is a space, an open space for us to have the conversation. So I hope that you guys are in the comments sharing what you think. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, that is fine. Just be respectful in the process, and I hope that you are taking this conversation with you in your real life and with your friends and with your family. When I was first looking at the first part of the Bear Witness project on YouTube Originals, it only took 3 or 5 minutes for me to feel triggered. I mean, I promise the program completely didn't even start yet, and I was already choked up, and because it was clips of the protest, and it was clips of just hearing about it all over again, and it put me back into the place of the week George Floyd was murdered. And it's like, in that week of everything happening with George Floyd, I was at every protest every single day for an entire week. And then the 8th day came. I don't really know if it was the 8th day. It was probably the 7th or the 9th. I don't know. But one of those days came and I was exhausted. And not just physically, because I live in LA, so I was marching the streets every single day in the heat in the summer. So yes, I was physically drained. But even outside of that, I was emotionally drained. I was emotionally exhausted. I cried at every protest. And it wasn't just my tears, and I don't want to cry right now, oh my God, please no. It wasn't just my tears. I feel like when I do cry about those things, I'm feeling the pain of my granddad. I'm feeling the pain of my father. I'm feeling the pain of my mother, my ancestors I've never even met. I feel like that pain travels down. And I knew what I needed in that moment. Like, yes, I do want to watch this. Yes, I do want to participate. Yes, I do want to support my people and be present and be a part of the movement. But I knew in that moment, I needed to turn it off. I started to breathe heavy and my heart was like really pumping fast, and I knew I needed to breathe. I turned it off and I relaxed. I breathed and I said, it's okay. It's okay to hurt. Don't expect this hurt to just disappear. I wouldn't even want it to disappear. I want that hurt to be present for George Floyd, for Breonna Taylor, for all of the names. I don't want that to go away, because when it goes away, they go away. They will never go away. I sat there and I appreciated those emotions. And this may sound crazy, but I appreciate those emotions because they are what let me know that my heart is still working. I'm afraid to be numb. I don't want it to be so normal where I hear it and I move on about my day. In that moment, I took the time and I stopped it because I knew that's what I needed. It's about asking yourself, what do I need right now? I need to turn this off. I need to take a moment to breathe. And maybe if it was really that extreme for you and you're still a little antsy and you're still a little anxious, figure out what you do for self-care. Maybe it's fishing, maybe it's hiking. Breathing can look a lot of different ways for different people. We all have different ways in which we take care of ourselves. Like for me, I like to be in nature. I like to touch grass. I like to hear birds. I like to read a book. I like to eat fruit, and I like to just hear the trees move. That makes me feel so centered. And that's another thing. Don't feel guilty for feeling happy. Don't feel guilty for the joyful moments just because you're hurting. You can hurt. And that's okay that you're hurting. It's okay that you're mad. It's okay that you're sad. And it's also okay when you take a break. It's also okay when you laugh. It's important to hang on to that joy. It's important to hang on to what is going to get you to tomorrow, because trust me, baby, it's not the pain that's going to keep you here for the long time. It's the joy. It's the happiness. It's you taking care of yourself. It's important that we are here for the generations after us. So I want to encourage everyone to go out and figure out what those things are for you that help you feel centered, that help you feel at peace, that help you calm down, that help the anxiety go down just a little bit, okay? Because it's really important that we take care of ourselves, because if we don't, how long will we truly be here? How long will we truly be alive and happy? Because at some point, yeah, we may be living, but we're living in this numbness and in this world where we have no optimism. There was a time before us, well, before me, where optimism was seen as delusion. Like, you really think things gonna get better? Like, you really think you're gonna be free? That was seen as delusion. But it's like now these days we can talk like this, and I can tell to my black people that mental health is normal. And like, we can take care of ourselves, and that's normal, and that's cool. Just shows that there is progress. And the progress is not just me being here talking to you, it's you going to talk to your family as well. It's all of us. It's a community thing. We have to do it together. To be completely honest, I didn't have a family member call me and to talk to me after the George Floyd. Like that didn't happen. Like, yeah, we talk about it in a sense, like we know it's wrong, but it's also not the first time. Like, you know, it does come up in the conversation if we're in the home together, but I live in LA, my family's on the East Coast, but it's too normal to the point where that's not something you pick up the phone and have a conversation about. If your friend is murdered or passes, then someone calls because that's not something, you know, that's something alarming. That's something we should be talking about. Let me make sure that you are okay. But like, that should also happen in moments like this, in a moment like where as a community we are hurting. We should all be checking on each other, making sure that we are all good, and making sure that we are good. And like, I don't take that personal. Like, I'm not sitting here mad at my family because nobody called me, but that's just something that we need to do better on. Like, if I'm not getting that call, I'm going to call my grandfather and say, how are you doing? Did you hear about blah, blah, blah? Like, how do you feel? And it's going to be weird for him because, you know, that's not something that he's done or that has been done for him because it's too normal to him. Like, I'm not about to call you every single time because sadly, you know, and I get that. But it's important that we have those conversations. And it's why I actually did do this with my grandfather. But of course, he's not familiar with the term or phrase self-care. Like, to him, he's like, huh, what is that? He even called it self-medication at some point. And I'm like, Granddad, no, not self-medication, no.
Self-medication, I guess that's something new to me. Mostly I work in my garden, work in my yard, I go fishing. Anything to take my mind off of what's happening today. And it gives you a peace of mind. And I call my grandkids.
So yes, this was a very important conversation that I wanted to have not only with you guys, like I said, but with my family and with my friends. And it's something I want to encourage you guys to have this conversation with other people as well. As long as you all are listening and that you're taking this conversation and taking it somewhere else in the world, then we are making an impact together. It's not just about me and my words, it's about our words and how we are creating the narrative. Self-care and mental health is very important, and it's something that I want to be normalized, and I want it to be praised. I want it to be esteemed in the Black community, and that's why I will continue having this conversation with my Black people, with my people, okay? I love you guys. Take that nap, take that break, take what you need. I love you, take care of yourself, and have a great day.